As a resident of Miami-Dade County, it is your right to know the names and likenesses of sex offenders living in your area. As a public service, we have created this videotape so that you and your friends and family can stay aware, stay safe, and maybe even have a little fun. Enjoy.
Touching my neighbor's kids again. What I did was not too kind, but I'm a nice guy, you'll come to find. I've got a backyard and a real nice pool. Y'all should come over for a barbecue. We can make some cold drinks in my blender, but do keep in mind that I'm a sex offender.
Hey, it's Chris and I'm here to say I rape prostitutes and I might be gay. My mustache says that it's made in China. Lie about my age and I prey on minors. I raped a prostitute, came on her face. Then my DNA matched up in the case. Still be in jail with a public defender. Thanks, Mom, still a sex offender.
People hit me up like, oh, you're awaiting trial. I'm not going to trial. I'm not going to court.
I have to get what was done during the pandemic. His courts were closed, finalized in front of a judge.
So now he's admitted to going to court. He said he don't got to go to court.
Right.
He just admitted that now he has to go to court.
I'm gonna troll y'all on that, man. I'm gonna troll it.
This is crazy.
Go stand in front of the judge.
I can't make. He just admitted it right now.
Like day one of trial, and I'm gonna be sitting outside in the park or something.
But he just said he don't gotta go to court.
Just watch. I'm gonna troll y'all 5 straight days. Y'all be getting on my nerves.
This dude has mental issues.
Look at it. If you ain't in trial, everything is pre-trial.
He's getting
old.
old.
Everything you do is a pre-trial.
He's losing. He's an alcoholic.
Unless it's a trial, it's called pre-trial. That's it. That is it.
Keep saying blah. Oh, when he goes back to court, when he's there, bro, I'm not. This case is not anything I'm fighting.
You think I'll be smiling, man, if I was facing 20 years in a month? Come on, bro. Come on. Y'all gotta be smart.
Dude said you think I'll be smiling. He said you think I'll be smiling.
Did they know my charges when I was locked up? Absolutely not. Bro, when niggas used to ask me what I was locked up for, I used to just tell them I was locked up for aggravated assault, which that was one of my charges. So I wasn't lying, but well, I had to hide my discovery and all kind of stuff. I'm going to court with people. The only reason what saved me with going to court with people was I had a paid attorney. So sometimes they would see me separate from the other inmates. Because when you have a public defender, they would bring everybody out, line y'all up in a row, and a judge would go over y'all case. But because I had a paid attorney, they would bring me out first, see me, put me back in a holding tank, and then bring everybody else out. So I'm not gonna lie, that just saved me, man. I'd have been, them Bloods and Crips would have been having that.
Christopher B. Gunsby. All you niggas gotta deal with the fact when y'all find out the type of nigga y'all worshiping, the type of crime that none of us can imagine, that none of us would do. Niggas in jail kill you if they know about that.
Did they know my charges when I was locked up? Absolutely not. Bro, when niggas used to ask me what I was locked up for, I used to just tell them I was locked up for aggravated assault. So I'm not gonna lie, that just saved me, man. I'd have been, them Bloods and Crips would have been having that.
Hold on, Unbias, but this don't make no sense to me because Karen K said her situation happened on the 18th. Kiara's situation happened on the 17th. So, but according to your documentary, that you was arrested early in the morning with the Kiara situation. So why would they feel you attempted to rape Karen if you was already in police custody that morning?
I wasn't in police custody in the morning.
That's what you said in your documentary.
So, bro, the next day, it's a knock at the door. I'm thinking like, what the fuck? I'm watching TV, me and my lady, me and my girl watching TV and shit. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Police, open up.
But according to your documentary, that you was arrested early in the morning with the Kiara situation. So why would they feel you attempted to rape Karen if you was already in police custody that morning?
So, bro, the next day, it's a knock at the door.
I went in for you in the morning.
That's what you said in your documentary.
They didn't arrest me the very next morning.
That's what you said in your documentary, bro.
You know what I'm saying? But I got all the answers. I got all the stuff in my discovery. I got the negative rape kits. I got the negative rape kits test. I got the negative result. I got all of that in my discovery. These niggas just be talking. I just let them talk.
Salute, people. It is Adept, HNIC, battle rap, and investing. All right, man, check it out. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I apologize for the hold up, but I got time today. All right? Chris Unbias. Now, for those of you who don't know, Chris Unbias is a battle rap blogger who is on YouTube, and he is currently out on bond for the rape of 3 different black women. We've recently learned that he actually has a court date coming up this month on March 24th. Okay? Now check this out. Wasn't he running around for the last 2 years telling us that he has no future court dates? He was telling us for the longest time he's not going back to court. This is not something that they're even pursuing.
Keep seeing blog, oh, when he goes back to court, when he's in, bro, I'm not. This case is not anything I'm fighting.
And a lot of you clowns ran with that as if it was the Bible. No, the motherfucker is a liar. And we recently pulled his card on that, and we found he does have an upcoming court date this month. And now he's actually admitted to it. So he's pretty much admitting that he lied. Oh, by the way, the live where he admitted to it, you know, the one where I showed y'all earlier, he actually took that down. And now he's not addressing it again.
I have to get what was done during the pandemic. These courts were closed, finalized in front of a judge.
This is not the first lie that he has told, man. He's been lying consistently ever since he first came out with his Rape-u-mentary. Oh, by the way, which he also took down. All right. He made sure to take that down, even though y'all claim that his Rape-u-mentary is what exonerates him to the battle rap community. So why is he hiding it? Oh, I know why. Because it's not consistent to the paperwork that we are pulling all the time from this motherfucker's case, man. I mean, this dude has been lying the entire time. He was even lying in the jails. He told you that when niggas was asking him about his case, he would lie and state that he was in there for aggravated assault.
Did they know my charges when I was locked up? Absolutely not. Bro, when niggas used to ask me what I was locked up for, I used to just tell them I was locked up for aggravated assault.
Well, you were locked up for aggravated assault. That was one of your charges, but it was against a female, namely Kiara Simeon. So you were telling niggas in the jail that you were locked up for aggravated assault on a dude. You fucking pussy. So if he's so comfortable lying to the niggas in county, why do y'all think he's gonna be honest with you, the battle rap community? Like, what are y'all talking about? But this dude has also stated that he has negative DNA tests in his possession that he can show whenever he wants, but he decides not to.
I got all the answers. I got all the stuff in my discovery. I got the negative rape kits test. I got the negative result. I got all of that in my discovery. These niggas just be talking. I just let them talk.
Why would you not show DNA tests proving your innocence? Well, because it doesn't exist. All right. When we look back into the transcripts, we learned that your DNA test came back positive, and your lawyer does nothing to even fight against that. Your lawyer admits to it as well. But your lawyer, he jumps to this idea that both Kiara and Shannon were prostitutes, all right? And his evidence for this is that, oh, we found Kiara on Backpage. Okay, but what about Shannon? You didn't find Shannon on Backpage.
Let me show you something, man. I ain't gonna try to show y'all. I ain't gonna get too crazy with the paperwork in this blog.
Of course you're not going to go too crazy with the paperwork in this blog because the paperwork contradicts your entire story, but we're going to get to that in a little bit.
This is the police report. You know what I'm saying? This is the police report. So, if we go right here, we can see Shannon. That's her name. You're going to see some stuff blacked out because obviously I can't show her phone number and address.
Wow, Shannon was only 5'2". That is fucking sad, bro. That is really sad because you knew you could take advantage of her by force. And in the paperwork, you even threatened to kill her if she tried to do anything, which we're going to get to.
And all that stuff. If you go over, move this paper over, you'll see she was born in 1995.
Which makes you like 30 years older than her. But anyway, we see the incident location is 5040 Snapfinger Woods Drive. Now, if you don't know, this is actually an Emory healthcare facility that him and his family worked at. Do you know that? So not only did the DNA test came back positive for this dude in this case, the incident even took place at his workplace. Well, Shannon Smith is actually the 2015 victim that he claimed was just a cold case because, you know, the judicial system is so racist that they'll just put a rape case on somebody with no type of evidence. You're a lying sack of shit, all right? Your DNA was sitting in the system for 2 years and was finally matched to you after you got caught up trying to rape Kiara Simeon and Karen Hill. Okay, so you had to submit your DNA, and that's when it came back to this perfect match. All right. Anyway, on August 1st of 2015, Shannon Smith in that case indicated that she agreed to get a ride to get some gas for her vehicle from an unknown male. She described him just the same exact description as the other victims indicate, and he was driving an SUV. The suspect in that case passed several different gas stations and did not stop. She advised him several times to let her out, and that is when the suspect drove into 5040 Snapfinger Woods Drive. Now, if you don't know this, 5040 Snapfinger Woods Drive is an Emory healthcare facility, right? Where him, his mother, and many other people in his family work at. So really, what are the odds that his DNA is gonna match to a victim who was attacked at his workplace? Let's continue. The suspect in that case passed several different gas stations and did not stop. She advised him several different times to let her out. And that is when this suspect drove into 5040 Snapfinger Woods Drive, which is a family practice group on that road. In the parking lot, he forced oral sex and intercourse with this victim. Although he did not have any weapons, the victim indicated that he said, "If you make a motherfucking move, I'll kill you." Because she was in fear, she complied. The defendant did use a condom and then forced sex. He then ejaculated on her face and then fled the scene. She immediately ran to the nearest location where there were people, contacted law enforcement. She had no idea who this person was, and so the case was an open pending case for the DNA that was found on her face from what she said matches this defendant. That poor girl, bro. She had to walk around with the nut still on her face just so she could get to the precinct and have some type of DNA because she had no idea who the fuck you were. You know how miserable that must have been for her? Like walking around with her rapist's nut still on her fucking face? Are you serious? That's traumatizing, nigga. But God bless her because God gave her the strength to actually do that. All right? And because of that, your DNA was found 2 years later. She didn't know who her rapist was for 2 years, bro. So now in his Rape-u-mentary, when he's talking about what happened to Kiara Simeon, which we're going to get to, he mentions that, because Kiara Simeon's rape went down like this, they just started pulling up cold cases on me, just based off of a minor description.
So as I'm sitting in jail, just as time passed, I'm just picking up more and more charges, man. You know what I'm saying? She basically told them a story that I was an Uber driver or I was a taxi or some shit, and that I picked her up, pulled over to the side of the road, assaulted her kind of thing. And it was like, that never happened. That wasn't true at all. We didn't even meet that way. And it was like every case that was around the whole taxi, Lyft, Uber scenario, they was trying to link me to, just based on minor descriptions, like, he's light brown with a short haircut and a dark vehicle. And it was just like, maybe it's this dude. And it was trying to link me to all of these cases.
No, you lying sack of shit. You were matched to the 2015 case based off of DNA evidence. And again, you claim that the DNA test came back negative. So why don't you show them?
I got all the answers. I got all the stuff in my discovery. I got the negative rape kits test. I got the negative result. I got all of that in my discovery. These niggas just be talking.
No, nigga, it's actually you who's just talking. We're pulling up actual paperwork, which you've yet to do. Except for that one time you pulled up Shannon's paperwork to prove that she was not a minor. Okay, and what? Then what? Then what? All right, so this is the order denying motion to quash counts 2, 3, 5, and 6. He was trying to throw out these cases. Remember how he stated, oh yeah, I got a private investigator and he proved that I wasn't a part of these. No, you fucking lying sack of shit. They denied you, and we're gonna read exactly why, okay? So he tried to get rid of count 2. Count 2 the indictment reads, the grand jurors aforesaid in the name and behalf of the citizens of the state of Georgia charge and accuse Christopher Gunsby with the offense of aggravated sodomy for the said accused person. This is on Shannon Smith. You know, the girl that he stated was just some cold case that they only connected to him through a description. No, there was DNA evidence, and that DNA evidence was sitting in the GBI system for 2 years. And you finally caught up to you when you try to rape Kiara. Okay? So they had the DNA to match to that case. Anyway, on or about the 31st day of July 2015, did submit to a sexual act with the person of Shannon Smith involving the sex organs of the accused and the mouth of said person. Said act having been formed with force and against the will of said person. A person commits the act of aggravated sodomy when he or she commits sodomy with force and against the will of the other person. Count 2 of the indictment tracks the language of the aggravated sodomy statute. The true sufficiency of an indictment to withstand a special demurrer is not whether it might have been made more definite and certain, but whether it contains the elements of the offense intended to be charged and sufficiently apprises the defendant of what must be prepared to meet, and in case any other proceedings are taken against him for a similar offense, whether the record shows with accuracy to what extent he may plead a former acquittal or conviction. Based on the ruling in Smith, there is no defect in count 2 of the indictment. So no, your DNA was a perfect match. So you can't throw that case out. All right, that poor girl Shannon didn't know who her rapist was for 2 years. For 2 years. All right, so that's 2 lies we already covered so far. That this clown, Chris Unbias, stated that Shannon Smith was a cold case that had no type of DNA evidence to support it. And also the second lie stating that he has positive DNA tests proving that he never had sex with Shannon. Well, you're just a lying sack of shit, bro, because your own lawyer even admits to you having sex with Shannon, but he tries to lie and state that she was a prostitute with no evidence to back that up, by the way. There's no evidence to back up Shannon Smith being a prostitute. All right? He's saying that just because he found Kiara on Backpage. So that must mean Shannon must be a prostitute too. No, that makes no fucking sense. But now let's get to what really got you caught up in this entire situation. And that was Kiara Simeon, the girl that you tried to rape, allegedly, in 2017. Okay? This was his story about what happened with Kiara. And we're going to go through it play by play. Okay, so this is Chris Unbias's Rape-u-mentary that he removed from YouTube with no explanation as to why, right? No explanation as to why he removed this from YouTube if this is the story that apparently exonerates you to the battle rap community. But luckily, I downloaded it. I have it. So we're going to listen to his story, play by play. And I want y'all to tell me if this makes any fucking sense. This is for Kiara, by the way. He doesn't explain what happened with Shannon. There's no explanation as to what happened with Shannon except, oh, that was just a case that the courts threw on me because of a description. You're a lying sack of shit. So let's hear this.
So I know a lot of y'all want to know what happened, man. It seems to be like one of the number one questions I've been asked since I got out is, Chris, how did you get involved in this situation? And normally when you look at the charges, you'll think like, yo, it got to be a crazy story behind this. But it's really not a crazy story. It's a simple case of me not doing something that a female wanted me to do, and her way of getting back at me was falsely accusing me and being very vindictive. And it's just as simple as that. So
listen to him real quick. So he's claiming that because, well, you're going to find out. He says that because he didn't pay Kiara for her services, she then put these false allegations of rape on him. Okay? Well, your lawyer also claims that's also what happened with Shannon as well. So these two different women, you just can't pay them, right, for their services, and then they just run around and say that you raped them. You're a lying sack of shit, bro. But let's listen to the entire story.
My friends, we decided to throw this party. It was a really big party, man. Tell a friend and tell a friend. We had a DJ, we had a bartender, we had security at the door. We charging $10 to get in.
Listen to that right there, okay? So he's claiming to be this big party promoter, all right? And he was throwing this party. It was tell a friend to tell a friend. Even though when we look at the transcripts from your own lawyer's testimony, right, talking to the prosecution, they state that your wife had no idea where you were on said night. But you were this big party promoter. It was such a big party. It was tell a friend to tell a friend. Your wife has no type of idea of where you were that night, though. So, all right, he's going to say, oh, I didn't tell my wife. I was doing this in private, which makes you a shitty, creepy husband. But whatever, that's fine to me. That has nothing to do with this case. But also, listen. So they were charging $10 at the door, and everybody that came to the party, they paid $10 to get in. Remember that.
We had food, we had drinks, the whole nine. It was a really big party. A lot of y'all know, if you follow my old channel, that I used to be a party promoter. So I used to throw parties and clubs and promote and stuff. So we was like, yo, we should do a really big party, have some dancers. So I go on Backpage, bro. I go on Backpage to book this female for this.
Now, mind you, this happened July 2017. Backpage's personal section, the adult section, it was seized by the FBI and shut down ever since January of that year. So he's circling Backpage's adult section, which did not exist at the time of this case.
Party, right? Now the party ends up getting pushed back, so it's probably about 3 weeks between the time I made initial contact with old girl and the actual party. So during this time, we building a rapport, we're flirting with each other, we're sending text messages of the sexual nature with each other. So we kind of low-key feeling each other a little bit. Just. So
he's getting sprung over a prostitute in his story, right? So check this out.
On an attractive standpoint, like I'm attracted to her and I'm kind of hollering at her a little bit on the text messages. The day of the party, she like, yo, I'm gonna come over early and I'm gonna help you, prepare and set up and everything. I'm like, cool, you know what I'm saying? So she gets dropped off. We helping each other with the party. We start messing around. One thing leads to another. We end up having sex. Very consensual, no problems at all.
So mind you, the reason that they actually connected Chris Unbias to Kiara is that when Kiara got her rape kit done, it was actually found that he nutted inside of her. So he had sex with this prostitute off of Backpage. This is his story. With no condom on, no protection. Mind you, he has a wife and kids at home. He has no idea where this woman would have come from, right? Or her background. I mean, you claim that she was a prostitute on Backpage, right? And you're having sex with her raw? You are a nasty motherfucker. But yes, he's saying that this girl, this prostitute, broke all the rules of prostitution, right? Went up to a client by herself and had sex with this person for no money, raw. Okay? Again, unrelated to what we're talking about here, but just something to note that Chris Unbiased is a nasty motherfucker, and he's trying to call other people weirdo bloggers.
Like the only weirdos in Battle True, Adept, DME, Detroit, Black Sheep. Like they was like the only weirdos in Battle Rap. Like if you could get them out of the way, you know what I'm saying, then Battle Rap would be good.
First of all, I never had to pick up no damn prostitute. That's one. Two, have sex with a prostitute raw, nigga? Raw? Okay.
A few hours later, the party starts. So, I paid her some money up front. Everything else she was going to make.
Mind you, now keep that in mind. Remember, everybody that came to this party paid $10 to get in, right? And he also said he paid the girl half her money up front in advance. Okay? Keep that in mind.
Was in tips. The party was very, very good. A lot of people, no problems at all. The end of the night, I get ready to take this chick home, right? So we stop off at the store. She goes to buy something, pulls out a 20, and the cashier's like, yo, your 20 isn't real. So she looking at me, I'm looking at her. I don't
really know what's going on, bro. Like, so she pulls out another 20. Cashier's like, yo, your 20 is fake. Bro, I pull out a 20. The cashier's like, your 20 is fake.
So what he's claiming right now is that everybody that got to the party paid in fake money. And that even the money he paid her in advance was fake money.
We decided to throw this party. It was a really big party, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We had a DJ, we had a bartender, we had security at the door. We charged $10 to get in.
Everybody that came to that party had fake money. There was just this huge epidemic of fake money all over Atlanta, Georgia, or wherever the fuck he is in Georgia, right? And also, why would you even need to go to a back page to get a dancer? If you were this known party promoter, and there's strip clubs all over Atlanta, why did you have to go to back page to find a dancer? What? But whatever. So everybody paid in fake money. Even the money that he gave her in advance was fake money. Okay.
Ends up swiping with the debit card, buying a little bit of stuff she bought. Now we on our way out. Luckily, that fucking cashier did not call the cops on us to do no crazy shit. He was kind of a little young dude. He was like, yo, I don't know what the fuck y'all niggas got going on, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta pull out some real money if you want to buy anything in this store. So now we ride home. So we talking about the whole situation. I'm really tripping because I'm like, yo, I don't know the magnitude of this. It's been a bartender, security guard, door money, fucking a DJ was paid. I'm like, yo, other dancers. I'm like, yo, how big is this situation? That's what I'm...
How? So everybody came with fake money, dude? Do you really want... Well, actually, the battle rap community did believe this fucking story. So that's really on y'all. I don't understand how you could fall for this. So everybody that came to that party got paid in fake money, and everybody that paid to get in used fake money. That's what he's telling you right now. That's what he's telling you right now. All right? This dude... All right, man. Let's continue.
I'm thinking in my head, you know what I'm saying? So me and her get to talking, bro, that shit started leading to like a little big debate, big argument between us. She like, yo, I just motherfucking need my money. You know what I'm saying? I didn't came out here, and the money that's messed up or whatever, that ain't enough money.
Well, depending on your story, she's in the right. She's definitely in the right. You had sex with her raw, then you had her dance at this party. Again, this is his story, all right, which is actually proven to be a lie, but we're gonna get to that in a second. Of course she's gonna be pissed off. You didn't pay her. You didn't give her any real money, all right? Now, why don't you just go to the ATM and pull out some money? He's gonna go over this right now.
So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna make this shit right. I said, I don't really know what's going on. I'm gonna make this shit right. She like, no, that's fucked up because I could have been doing another party. I didn't came to do your party. I done waited 3 weeks to do your party. And this is the bullshit that happened. Something told me not to do this motherfucking party. So she really just spazzing on me right now, kind of going off, right? Well, she just spazzing, period. She ain't necessarily spazzing on me. But I'm telling her like, yo, I'm gonna make this shit right. You know what I'm saying? Just let me figure out what the hell happened in the magnitude. Now, the first thing you think is just go to the ATM, get her some money, and she should be good. But one of the dudes that I threw the party with was like, yo, I need to take a lot of this stuff home. Let me swap cars with you. So he ends up taking the truck. I end up taking another vehicle home. So now my fucking debit card is in the truck.
First of all, who the fuck leaves their debit card in the truck? Again, this is just circumstantial. People are going to be like, oh, well, you don't know. That's probably what he does. You had your wallet on you. You had money on you, but you left your debit card specifically in the truck. Also, where is this DJ? Because he's not one of your witnesses for the case. Actually, nobody from that party is being used as a witness for your case because there was no fucking party. There was no party. Okay, but let's continue.
So I don't really have a way unless I go all the way to his crib to get the get the debit card.
There's no Cash App. The Cash App existed at this time. All right, you had your phone on you. You claim you had money in the bank. What prostitute doesn't have a Cash App? You could have paid her in Cash App. That's one thing, but let's continue.
Really fix the situation. So I'm like, yo, we both in the same situation. I understand what's going on. Like, I booked you. You're here basically because of me. So I said, I'm gonna make this shit right. Man, she was not trying to hear that shit, bro. Like, she really turned up on me. It went from like her being mad about the situation to her feeling like I set her up. And that's where all her animosity came. It was like, oh, you know, you probably set me up. You invited all these people here. You knew they was going to be coming with fake money and shit. Y'all.
So everybody, he says it again. Everybody that came to the party, anybody that was throwing money at the dancers, all of that stuff, it was all just fake money. It was all just fake money. Everybody that came to that party had fake money. Are you serious? Nigga, if this was true, you would be getting investigated by the feds right now for that. What are you talking about? But like I said, when we look at his lawyer's transcripts, there is no mention of a party. We're going to get to his lawyer's defense, right? Right after this story, this bullshit story that he gave the battle rap community, and y'all fell for it.
Niggas on some broke nigga shit. So now, I'm really getting kind of ticked off now because in a way I'm thinking like, yo, I'm giving you a ride home. I'm telling you I'm making the situation right. You ain't making it no better. Now you accusing me of setting you up. Like, why would I set you?
First of all, it really does. From your story, it does sound like you set her up because, oh, you magically don't have your debit card? Oh, everybody paid in fake money? Oh, you can't use CASHAPP to send her the money directly to her fucking CASHAPP? What prostitute doesn't have CASHAPP? Please answer that question.
You up, then take you to the store to allow you to spend money that you claim I set you up in, and you're clearly gonna find out that the money isn't real and I'm gonna be with you. Why would I go through all that? So now I'm kind of like,
because that's not what happened. Of course. Why would you go through that? Because you never went through that. That's not what happened.
Put it back on her like, yo, you tripping. Like, I didn't set you up and none of this shit. So she's still on that shit. Now we get to her house, we still arguing. We get out of the car, we still arguing. We can't even come to a simple conclusion on how we finna finish the rest of this night. So I'm like, yo, man, fuck this shit. I'm about to go. That's the kind of shit I'm on at this point, right? So I get in the car, crank the car up. I'm going down the driveway. Now, mind you, it's pitch dark. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta paint.
If you turned on your car, your headlights are on. All right? Your headlights are on. If you dropped her home, she probably has a front porch light. I really don't believe it was pitch black outside. Period. Okay? But again, circumstantial. Let's just continue.
Yourself in the middle. Paint this picture of being in the middle of the night. You don't really see anything. I'm crank the car up, drive down the driveway. Next thing I know, I see a flick up of the door handle. This chick trying to get in the car or whatever, stop the car. I don't know what she's trying to do. But in my mind, it happened so quick, I just kept going. You know what I'm saying?
So the girl you claim was trying to get back in the car, all right? We're going to find out why, all right? Actually, you stole her phone, okay? Her phone was in your car, right? And she's trying to get back in, you just drive off, which dragged her across the road and caused all of her injuries, which is why he's getting hit with aggravated assault, okay? But he's claiming it's because she was trying to get into the car and she just kept on holding the handle as he was driving and she just was dragged across the road.
Saying like, I'm not even thinking it in my mind, like, yo, this chick is crazy. Like, she just need to go in the house or whatever. Like, I told her, like, I'll fix the situation. So I leave. When I left that driveway, the rest of my life changed after that. After I left that driveway. Because when I went home, bro, so I go home and I'm just like trying to process everything. I realized her fucking phone is in my car. Her phone is in my fucking car, bro. So, bro, the next day, it's a knock at the door. I'm thinking like, what the fuck? I'm watching TV, me and my girl watching TV and shit. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Police, open up.
Well, actually, you weren't arrested the next day. You were arrested several days afterwards because after you did what you did with Kiara, the next day, you attempted to rape a woman named Karen Hill. We're going to get more into Karen Hill a little further. I told you there's 3 victims. There's 3 victims. In his Rape-u-mentary, he only tells us the story about one, this bullshit story. All right? Out of your own mouth, you stated that you weren't arrested days later, but in this Rape-u-mentary, you said you were arrested the next day.
This don't make no sense to me because Karen K said her situation happened on the 18th. Kiara's situation happened on the 17th. So, but according to your documentary, that you was arrested early in the morning with the Kiara situation. So why would they feel you attempted to rape Karen if you was already in police custody that morning?
I wasn't in police custody in the morning.
That's what you said in your documentary.
They didn't arrest me the very next morning.
That's what you said in your documentary, bro.
And they arrested me the very next morning?
Yes, you did. You said the very next morning, early in the morning, you was laying in the bed with your girlfriend. The police knocked on the door, came in. The lady asked you for your ID, and as soon as she saw your face, she said, put your hand behind your back, and you got arrested that morning. That's what you said.
They didn't arrest me the next day. They arrested me after that.
Okay, let's continue.
So mind you, I done just moved into this neighborhood. Just moved into this house. I ain't been in the house but fucking about 35 days, bro. I just moved into this house. It's the fucking police. I'm thinking like, yo, they must be here for like the people that used to own this house or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Like, so when I open up the door, they got guns drawn like this at me. This is what I'm seeing when I open up the door.
You know why they came out at you like that? Because literally one day after you did what you did with Kiara Simeon, you then went the next day and tried to rape this woman named Karen Hill, who is a nurse at, again, Emory Healthcare Facility. It's funny how it always goes back to Emory. Very interesting how that works, right? What's crazy is we're talking about 3 victims. There's actually a 4th woman that we found was actually violated at Emory Healthcare Facility, right? And the hospital did everything they can to work to cover it up because your mother is a very important person at the hospital.
Oh, but your mom is a millionaire. She's rich. Yeah, she caked up. But that ain't why I got her jail. That was the case. I would have never sat in there that long.
All right. She was raped on the 7th floor, right? The radiation floor where you and your mother worked at, right? And they try to claim, oh no, that was probably a homeless person. It was a homeless person. How would the homeless person have access to the elevators after dark, whatever? That floor was not open to anybody that could just come in and take the elevator there. All right, you actually needed an access key to get into that elevator to get to that floor.
We are hearing firsthand from a woman who says a man sexually assaulted her at Emory University Hospital Midtown. She says the man came out of nowhere and grabbed her while she was working. Channel 2's Taisha Fernandez is live at the hospital tonight. Taisha, the woman says the man also threatened her.
She says he told her he'd kill her, so she did whatever he said. The victim's supervisor is inside the hospital right now, and he told me he doesn't know how this could have happened because he says after 7 p.m., you can't even get on an elevator here without a key fob.
I say, I kill you. So I say, oh my God, I'm scary. I say, no, please.
This woman, who doesn't want to reveal her identity, has been working for a cleaning company that's contracted to clean Emory University Hospital in Midtown. She's been working here for the past couple of months. However, Thursday night was the first time she worked the night shift. She says around 8:30 p.m., a man walked up to her on the 8th floor, put something over her face and covered her mouth.
I said, oh, no, stop. I say, come on. No, I don't want to money. You sexy, you very sexy. I said, oh my God. But I me cry.
She told police he sexually assaulted her, then took off. I called Emory Hospital officials and asked, how could this happen? They said they can't comment because of the ongoing investigation. They did send me this statement. The Emory Police Department has identified a significant person of interest, and that individual has been taken into custody on separate charges. Leadership is working with the Atlanta Police Department, Emory Police Department, and Emory Healthcare Public Safety to implement new security strategies, including stepping up patrolling. This victim told me she quit her job here. She's just grateful to be alive.
So I had another opportunity, I'm okay.
Hospital officials have not confirmed if this person of interest is a patient here or not, but that victim supervisor told me he believes the suspect is a homeless man that's always hanging around this hospital. When we get more information as this investigation continues, we'll share it with you.
So this woman stated that at the hospital on the 7th floor overnight, this person came up to her, put a bag over her head, and threatened to kill her if she doesn't submit to what he wanted to do. That's the same thing that Shannon Smith stated was told to her by Chris Unbias on the night that she was raped. All right? Who else would have access to this hospital, right? They're trying to pin it on a homeless man, but a homeless man wouldn't even have the access key to get to that 7th floor. Okay? And where were the cameras? Where's the security cameras? This seems like a whole fucking cover-up, but it is what it is.
So I'm like this, I'm looking around, I don't even really know, like I'm still confused. She like, let me see your ID, one of the detectives. Give her my ID. Puts me in handcuffs. Then tells me that I'm arrested for sexual assault. She says the name. Now mind you, all I know girl from is from her dancer name. I don't even know the government name. So I'm in my mind, I'm still like, yo, who the fuck is this person she talking about? So sit me in a squad car, arrest my girl, sit her down in a...
They sat his girl down and asked her a series of questions. She had no alibi for where Chris Unbias was that night. All right? We learned that in the transcripts. No alibi for where you were this night, but you're this big party promoter. You just throw parties as a way to make money and all this other shit. All right? If you were doing what you do to make money, to provide for your family, wouldn't your wife know where you were that night? Again, this story is a fucking lie. Even when you look into the transcripts and look into his lawyer's defense, there's no mention of any type of party.
Regular, like in a chair, and they just go through the house, bro. They taking stuff out. I mean, they took so much stuff out of my house. So I eventually go down to the station.
By the way, all that stuff they found in his house, they found burner phones, they found fake IDs, they found weapons, they even found like this bag of these old camcorders and shit. All right. Now, when you look into his case, his lawyer was doing everything he can to throw all of that evidence out. All right. So the story actually of you being some type of fake Uber driver, that actually makes sense. All right. Because you had all of these fake IDs, these burner phones that you had hidden in a closet in your attic, I believe. All right. I'm gonna have the paperwork right on the screen. So it was either in the attic or it was in the garage, but you had it hidden in a closet. All right. Because you were keeping all of this from your wife, which is why she had no alibi for you.
Get processed in. I'm starting to find out what's going on. So my family and my girl, they like, yo, we gonna...
You see that? Look at his hat. Look what happened here. I told you this dude, I believe, is connected to something much bigger. All right? He even admitted at his own mouth his mother's some type of political guru.
They start changing the narrative. Oh, his mom is rich. Oh, she's a political guru.
Now, if you look into his mom's Facebook page, which I'm not going to put up here because then that's just asking for a community guideline strike, right? If you go to it yourself, though, you will see she is active in the Democratic Party. And if you look into her position at Emory healthcare facilities, she is a very high-ranking person. So that's why I feel as though Chris Unbias, felt comfortable bringing his victims to these facilities and taking advantage of them because he knew his mother would help pretty much cover it up. All right? She's also a millionaire. All right? I believe she's some type of Eastern star. All right? If you look through her Facebook, which I won't show here because I think that's going a little too far. All right? She's very active in, like, for the Democrats of Georgia and all of this shit. All right? And like this is right here what he did. This is hypnosis. Okay? Look how he goes from the black and white hat to the red and white hat. Again, black, white, and red, the colors of witchcraft, the colors of Pan. Black and white representing the Masonic checkerboard floor. All right? Also representing the duality of good and evil. The red representing the blood sacrifice. Look at this.
I eventually go down to the station. I eventually get processed in. I'm starting to find out what's going on. So my family and my girl, they like...
You see how he did that? You see how he did that cut? Again, this is why so many clowns fell for this story. Because he was doing hypnosis on you during the entire time. But that's okay. People gonna say I'm reaching. People gonna think that's dumb. Anybody who actually knows how this type of shit works, this type of witchcraft works, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So let's continue.
Yo, we gonna hire you a lawyer. You know, you got some serious charges. But in my mind, I'm still thinking it's gonna be worked out. So it took me a couple days to go to court. I go to court. They're telling me my charges. So they didn't charge me with, obviously, rape. They charged me with rape. She said I raped her, which I didn't. When I left her house, this is something I forgot. When I left her house, remind you, I drove her home and then we got out and we was talking. Bruh, she left her phone in the front seat. So when I drove off, her phone was in the front seat.
You were trying to take her phone so then she doesn't have access to your number and can give that to police to actually find your whereabouts. All right, you stole her phone, bro. Allegedly.
So when they show up at my house the next day, she then told them I stole her phone. So they find the phone there and charge me with robbery. So I get a robbery.
You did rob her. She was trying to, as you claim, she was trying to get back into your car and you drove off with her still holding the door handle. You probably were trying to keep it as some type of memento, you sick motherfucker. Because as we get deeper into this, we're going to learn that this was a system that you had. All right. I believe you're a serial rapist. All right. And with a lot of these sick dudes, they like to keep mementos from their victims. That's probably also why they found all the burner phones in your closet. Probably from other victims.
Of a cell phone. So that's how I got the robbery charge. So then, remember I said she grabbed the car door. When she grabbed the car door, she fell. You know how like when you ride on a bike and shit and you like fall and like scrape your knee or something, you get like a road rash on your knee or something? That's what happened on her shoulder because she grabbed the car handle and I was still driving. So they tried to up my charge and say I used my vehicle as a weapon by accelerating. This is how...
Actually, from what we read in the paperwork, right, we learned that Kiara actually jumped out of the moving vehicle, and that's how she got those injuries. Because let's really think about that. Somebody's gonna grab the car handle while it's still driving and then still hold on to it to the point where they get dragged across the road, still holding the car. Come on, no. She tried to jump out of the car because you were probably trying to take her to some undisclosed location. All right. Actually, we learned the same thing happened to Karen Hill the very next day, but again, we're gonna get to that.
Crazy criminal charges can be how they can trump up charges just on wording. So now I get charged with aggravated assault, robbery, and rape. These are my charges, right? So I go to court, they're telling me like, your charges are too high for us to give you a bond. So I don't get a bond in that particular courtroom. But that was standard procedure. I go probably 10 days later, I go to court again, and now I'm in superior court. So now I'm in a big court or whatever. And the district attorney, she's ripping me to shreds, bro. She's saying I'm a menace to society. I'm likely to commit another felony. Mind you, I ain't never been in trouble before. I don't got...
Mind you, the prosecutor was saying this, the DA was saying this because the day after what happened with Kiara Simeon, he then went on to attempted rape this woman named Karen Hill. Literally the very next day. The very next day. This dude was having some sick weekend he had planned, bro. That's why I believe there's even other victims. But let's continue.
No criminal history. I got one misdemeanor, in my entire life. I'm not a violent person.
The misdemeanor he's talking about is when he beat up some little kid. All right, he says his son was in some type of fight with another child, and then he jumped in and beat that minor up. All right, so this dude he clearly does not see the boundary between an adult and a child. All right, so why would he see the boundary that separates a man and a woman? All right, these dudes are sick, man. These rapists, like, I bet he can't even get hard unless he is thinking about raping somebody. Unless he's taking somebody by force, he can't get hard. That's probably why his wife left him. He was probably tell his wife, yo, let me use my gun and act like I'm raping you. Let me pretend I'm raping you right now. His wife wasn't with it, so he had to go out and find these young girls on the street and violate them like that. That's the only way he can get off. Okay? Pause.
Don't even call women bitches and hoes like on camera. You don't even have...
You don't call women bitches and hoes? What are you talking about? You actually have this video on your channel defending Ty Pretty, who served time for actually raping a child, a girl under the age of 13 years old. This is what he had to say about that girl.
When I was watching this Ty situation unfold, I saw blogger after blogger after blogger after blogger speaking on this man's case. And they don't have no facts. Everything is one-sided. Everything is just what they heard, what they read. This dude is basically 18, messing with a girl who is 16, about to turn 17.
That's a whole fucking lie. What's crazy is he's talking about bloggers talking about shit without having facts. But when you look at the situation with Ty Pretty, you learn that the girl was 13 or under. She actually could be younger than 13. All right? Ty Pretty told this story about the girl being 16. Paperwork clearly proves that was a lie. So again, these motherfuckers he keeps telling you to only listen to the men's story. Don't care about the paperwork. Don't care about the woman's side. And I guess 15 Minutes of Pan agrees with him, because when he stated that in their chat, they pinned the comment. They pinned the comment to believe men, not women. Y'all niggas is disgusting.
In this story, he's saying that the girl didn't even want to press charges, that the mother pushed it so much. You know, moms do that because they don't want to know that their daughter is even having sex at such a young age. So they say, well, I raised her not to have sex. So the only way she could be having sex is you must have coerced her into having sex. So they want to punish the guy. But really, she could have been running around just on her doc shit and wanted to have sex anyway.
And I don't even call women bitches and hoes like on camera. You don't even have that in any of these unbiased review videos.
You don't call women bitches and hoes, but you are right on here talking about a girl that is either 13 or younger, saying that she was on her thought shit, and that's why her mom's pressed charges on Ty Pretty for taking advantage of her. You a fucking weirdo, bro.
And so just watching blogger after blogger speak about this dude's case, it just reminded me of the same shit they did in my case. And it was like, these niggas didn't learn anything. They throw a camera on, hop in front of a camera, and just start talking about a man's situation.
No, that's actually what you're doing. Because again, when you look at Ty Pretty's paperwork, it shows that he was lying. The girl was actually 13 years old or younger, and he claimed that she was 16. And I find it funny that once this paperwork came out, you still keep this video up. You still keep this video on your channel, but your rape-u-mentary is nowhere to be found, except on my computer. Isn't that crazy? That he will keep a video up defending a child rapist, right? Who lied about his story, and then he continues to compare it to his own situation. Oh, because you're lying about your story, you fucking sick, nasty nigga. And it's disgusting you keep this video up defending this man when paperwork proves that he was lying. You fucking sick bastard. And now look what he says about these other charges that Ty Pretty got while in the jail. He picked up, I believe, 3 more charges for indecent exposure, meaning he was harassing the women who worked in the prison with some types of sexual harassment type shit, whipping out your dick, doing all this nasty shit. It was obviously egregious enough to the point that he got charged 3 more times with that shit.
Now, he got 3 indecent exposure charges. Basically, he was saying that he was basically jacking off in front of like nurses and female COs and all that kind of stuff. That happens all the time in jail. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. All them niggas do in jail is jack off. That's all the fuck they do to girls.
So he wants you to believe that niggas be in jail around all these other dudes just pulling out their dick in public and just jacking off in front of niggas to get a female CO's attention. Now, I haven't been in prison, okay? I've done shit here and there. I never got actually sent to the penitentiary, okay? Is this true? So why aren't there more niggas with indecent exposure charges while they're locked up? This nigga's just lying, bro. You probably did that because you're a nasty, sick bastard. But from what I know, if you whipping out your dick, like in public, in like the community room and all this other shit, where in the day room, right? When niggas is all chilling, you're not able to do that. The fuck are you talking about? Now peep this, what he says next, because this shows his true mindset, the mindset of a rapist.
You know what I'm saying? Girls come through, niggas got their dick out, niggas jacking their dick, niggas knocking on, niggas not tapping on the window trying to get the girls to look. A lot of females like that shit. I ain't gonna front, a lot of females like it because I guess it's their only form of real attention. They'll say something like, oh, you nasty, or, I don't want to see your little dick. They'll make these little comments, but at the end of the day, a lot of these motherfuckers like that shit.
So there goes Chris Unbias out of his own mouth saying that when a woman tells him no, it actually means yes. That sounds like rape 101. What these rapists would actually say, like, oh yeah, she told me no, but man, she was fronting, so I took that shit anyway. The fuck is you talking about, fam? You a nasty nigga, and like I said, I believe you're a serial rapist. Okay, so the prosecution states the Judge Ross didn't even hear about this 2015 case at the time he deemed the defendant a significant threat or danger to people, to persons in the community, as well as a significant risk of committing felonies while the trial was pending. And just because the defense talked about differences that were laid out, I will just let Your Honor know that the allegations are specifically first with the indicted case that we have. Essentially on that date, the victim in that case, Kiara Simeon, she is on Backpage. There was never a question of what she does. She had arrived, frankly, to a John being a client. She got the number from a friend. The police had contact with that friend. She gave the police the phone number that was used to contact this defendant for a ride. And on the way to the John's house, this defendant sexually assaulted her. What ended up happening is he pulled over and he started to pull up her dress and pull her panties down. When she opened the passenger door to get out of the vehicle, the defendant sped away. The victim in this case indicated that she was in fear because there was a gun in the vehicle. And that is why she ended up complying. But she did jump out of the vehicle when the defendant refused to stop, and she did sustain injuries to her shoulder, her back, and legs from the fall. The defendant did have the victim's cell phone. And what she indicated is when she went to grab her cell phone, the defendant grabbed it or pulled it away from her. She immediately ran, contacted anybody that was available. It was a neighbor who called the police right away. And since this case has been indicted, the sexual assault kit for her has come back to this defendant. What should be noted is that based on this phone number that they had, they were able to track the phone to this defendant's residence in Rockdale County. And when they ended up getting a search warrant in Rockdale County for the defendant's residence, they found that the phone the defendant was using to contact for these cab rides was hidden in a bedroom closet. But during their search, they also found the victim's cell phone in the garage attic in a black bag. Wait, hold up, Chris. I thought you said she left her phone in your car, unbeknownst to you. But when you got home, you made sure to take her phone and hide it in the garage attic. You hid it up there, all right? Probably along with your other little mementos that you keep from other victims. And then the cell phone that you was using that night, you had it hidden in a closet in your bedroom. So, again, you have these burner phones, but you want us to believe that you weren't like trying to pretend to be some type of Uber driver? Really? Now, she says that she got the number from a friend who then contacted you. Again, I believe this is a much bigger story than we even know of, man. Because again, we only have like 3% of the paperwork. There's way more paperwork out there that we don't have access to, but they claim that the police did get in contact with this friend. So, hold up. Why isn't he a witness for your case then? I just don't understand that. They'll be like, oh yeah, wait, hold up. If she got the number from a friend who the police contacted and confirmed that she got the number from there, how the hell can you tell us that you met her on Backpage? When we go through your lawyer's defense, and again, the prosecution even brought this up, your only defense is that, oh, she's on Backpage, that means she's a prostitute. But it doesn't say that you met her on Backpage. They just said that they found her on Backpage to confirm that she was a prostitute. That's it. That's it. There was no party. There was nothing like that. You lying sack of shit. Coincidentally, the very next day, because the victim described this defendant's vehicle and what he looked like, there was another female, a Karen Hill, who indicated that she was on Glenwood Road at a club. She was with her friends and they left her. And so she was absolutely inebriated outside of the club, in which a male in a black SUV, just as the day before was described with the other victim, said that he would give her a ride. And because she had no way to get home, she agreed. When she found out the defendant was going in a direction that was not toward her home, that is when things became bad. The defendant essentially forced her to commit oral sodomy on him, And then he tried to have sex with her, but she actually, when he was pulling over, she jumped out of the vehicle. There were witnesses at the club who identified this defendant as the person that committed the crime. The problem with that, or the reason why warrants haven't been taken out yet, is the fact that this victim, because of her intoxication, she could not make an identification because of her inebriated state. The victim that she's referring to now is actually Karen Hill, the woman that Chris Unbias allegedly attempted to rape the day after he did what he did with Kiara Simeon. Okay? Now, for this victim, he didn't get to actually rape her. All right? He had her pretty much sucking him off, and then when he didn't like the way that she was doing that, he stopped, and then she took that opportunity to actually jump out of the vehicle. All right, that's why they're talking about these witnesses that actually saw Chris pick this girl up at the club. All right, I'm just making that clear so then people don't get Kiara and Karen Hill mixed up. No, it was at the club. That was the Karen Hill situation. All right, there was never mention of any club or any fucking party with Kiara. All right, but let's continue. And so for those reasons, is my understanding why the detective is waiting for the sexual assault kits to come back because of her inability, because of her intoxication. But there are other witnesses that absolutely did identify or positively identified this defendant, Chris Unbias, who committed the crime against her. Again, she immediately outcried and called the police when this occurred. She did have a severe laceration, but could not indicate when it occurred during the assault of her. It was possibly when she jumped out of the vehicle. After this July hearing, the GBI came back with our first case's GBI results. His DNA was put into the CODIS system, and since Judge Ross heard the case initially, that is when a CODIS hit has come back to this defendant from the 2015 case. So after you were arrested for the attempted rape of Karen Hill because there were witnesses on the scene who described you and your vehicle, your DNA was then submitted to this CODIS system, and it hit back on that Kiara Simeon case, which happened the day prior. All right. And then later on, they then found it a perfect match to the 2015 case of Shannon Smith. Okay. Now, I don't know about the whatever DNA test they took for Karen Hill because I don't think there would be much DNA evidence for that. All right. But that's why they're not pursuing that case, but they're still using Karen Hill as a witness against you. And your lawyer even did some type of motion to try to block her from being a witness for the case. All right. But then you try to tell us that no, Karen Hill is actually a witness for you. Then why would your lawyer try to block her from being involved in the case?
Okay, so if you don't have a case on Karen Hill at all.
No.
Okay, so what was the purpose of them? So what was the purpose of them subpoenaing her to appear in court on April 23rd when this case of her is actually June 2017? Why would they be subpoenaing her to come?
I'm gonna tell you why. So after the whole Karen Hill, after they refused to charge me in the case, my lawyer was like, well, don't even bring it up no more. Okay? We started using Karen Hill for us. She started to become an asset for myself. The reason she started becoming an asset for myself was because we were trying to prove that we had an overzealous detective that was trying to pin cases on me without doing the research. So we was using Karen Hill to show that Karen Hill only one in the case that said that's not his car. His car didn't have rims on it.
Well, if we go by your Rape-u-mentary, you stated that you didn't even have your car. You were in a different vehicle. All right? Because the DJ apparently had your car, right? Right? So the only thing that his lawyer is pressing, right, regarding the Karen Hill situation is that, the car has rims though. The car had rims. It's not just a black SUV. The car also has rims. So if she can't remember the rims, that means she wasn't really raped. Well, she was completely inebriated coming out of the club. So what are you talking about, fam? All right, those little details she probably just didn't notice. at all. But there were witnesses on site who pinpointed you as being the person, and pinpointed your car as being the one at the location that picked up Karen Hill. So this dude, man. So again, if she's your star witness, as you claim now, right? She's your star witness, then why the hell did your lawyer go out of their way to block her from being any type of witness in this case? And anything that happened with Karen Hill cannot be involved in this case. If she's your star witness, why did your lawyer do that? That doesn't make any fucking sense. But this dude has been lying over and over and over again. His story makes no fucking sense. We proved that his rape-u-mentary was a lie. Matter of fact, let's even go to what his lawyer claims actually happened this night. This is actually Chris Unbias' lawyer, Mr. McLendon, right? The prosecution was Miss Romanowski. Now, this is Chris's lawyer. This is what his defense states happened that night. Now, briefly addressing the allegations at issue, like I knew that we would, we have two supposed individuals who, they are definitely individuals, but that Mr. Gunsby has supposedly sexually assaulted. The first case was a June 17, 2017 incident involving Kiara Simeon. And when you really look at these cases, it becomes, this is not a rape case. This is where Mr. Gunsby on two different occasions was having consensual sex with prostitutes, and then they were not paid. Where's the mention of the party? I thought you got Kiara to come to this party. There should be all these witnesses that were at the party who saw her dancing there. All of that. There's no witnesses from this alleged party because there was no fucking party. Okay? And they were not paid. They took it upon themselves to be vindictive and swear out false warrants against Mr. Gunsby. Now, he's speaking about Kiara and Shannon. Again, he's just saying that Shannon Smith was a prostitute with no type of evidence to back that up. At the preliminary hearing, we learned that law enforcement confirmed that Miss Simeon was on Backpage. And if the court is not aware of Backpage, it's a website where people typically meet up to provide sex for money. Miss Simeon did not report that to law enforcement. Okay, because that's probably something she did in the past. Because again, Backpage's adult section was closed. It was shut down when this incident occurred. All right, it got shut down January of that year. This took place on July or June? No, July. So, they probably found that she was on Backpage at one point of her life. Okay, cool. Let's let that live. Let's say Kiara was a prostitute. That doesn't prove anything about Shannon though, at all. But his lawyer's just talking out of his ass and saying, oh yeah, Shannon was a prostitute too. Because they can't find Shannon. They can't find her. All right, it's been 2 years. She did not know who a rapist was for 2 years. All right, until Chris's DNA was put into the system and it linked to that case. All right, which took place at his workplace, but whatever. Instead, what Miss Simeon says is that Mr. Gunsby his information was given to her by a friend, some unknown friend, as an individual who was an Uber driver from Craigslist. Those were the words of law enforcement. Unknown friend, they said police actually was in contact with this friend though. And with Chris Unbias having these burner phones that his wife isn't even aware of, it's very possible that he was fronting like he's some type of Uber driver. But let's continue. His information was given to her by a friend, some unknown friend, as an individual who is an Uber driver from Craigslist. Those were the words of law enforcement. This is his word saying, it doesn't actually make sense, but I guess some sort of cash for taxi. Now he's stating that is just an absolute lie. I don't even believe that anybody in law enforcement believes that. And so she has clearly come out with the first thing that she tells law enforcement is a lie. The first thing, and I think that's very important. I think it's also very important that, like we said, we've had an opportunity to look into this. This is not the first time that Miss Simeon has made an allegation of a felony against someone who she got a number from a friend as a cash taxi. So this is how Miss Simeon, who law enforcement concedes is on Backpage, gets back at people who do not pay as agreed. Okay, that's what he's claiming with Kiara Simeon. Okay, now it's very easy to just say that about a sex worker. I'm sure sex workers do get raped a lot of the times because they are some of the most vulnerable people on the planet. So he's stating that because she's made this allegation about somebody in the past and now she's making it against Chris, that it must be a lie. No. How does that even make logical sense? How do you get to that conclusion? But whatever, let's continue. So in this case, what happened was that Miss Simeon's money, and then unknowing to Mr. Gunsby, a couple belongings, such as a cell phone, was left in his vehicle. So not only was her cell phone left in the vehicle, also her purse, her wallet, her money, all of her stuff was taken by Mr. Gunsby after Kiara jumped out of the vehicle. Okay? Miss Simeon was trying to get back into that vehicle to get her property, to get that money that they agreed upon. She was tripped at some point with this moving vehicle and fell. And I guess that it caused some sort of an injury to her. So then she reports to the hospital as being raped and having to jump out of a moving vehicle. But we believe that. We don't even have discovery, and I believe in good faith that I can tell Your Honor there's issues with that allegation. The second case, this case arose because law enforcement did a swab. They had a search warrant. They did a swab. They got DNA. They entered it into the bank, and it came up with a hit from an August 2015 allegation. All right. Again, y'all remember Chris Unbias said these DNA tests came back negative.
I got all the answers. I got all the stuff in my discovery. I got the negative rape kits test. I got the negative result. I got all of that in my discovery. These niggas just be talking.
And that Shannon was just put on him as some type of cold case, just based off of a description. You're a lying sack of shit. According to the preliminary hearing, this allegation is involving Miss Shannon Smith. Miss Shannon Smith is also a prostitute. Based on what? Based on what? Because you saw when he was talking about Kiara, he pointed to her past of being on Backpage. He's just claiming that Shannon Smith was a prostitute right now. All right? Miss Shannon Smith also engaged in sex with Mr. Gunsby in exchange for money. And Miss Shannon Smith was not paid as agreed. And so how she decided to handle this matter was just like what Miss Simeon did, and she falsely reported rape against Mr. Gunsby. That's a lie. She did not know who Chris Unbias was. She did not know who Christopher B. Gunsby was at all. All right? She went to the police saying that she was raped, and the only DNA evidence they could find was the nut that she kept on her face, bro. All right? Because Chris used the condom with her. All right? But then took off the condom and nutted on her face. All right? So what the fuck are you talking about? And now he wants to keep acting as though all these women are prostitutes. Karen Hill ain't a prostitute. Karen Hill works at Emory healthcare facilities, just like his entire family does. All right? The same place where he took Shannon Smith 5040 Snapfinger Woods Drive. Because he feels comfortable raping women there. I guess, apparently, that's where he feels most comfortable doing it. Because he knows his mother is going to have his back and help him cover up, allegedly. Anyway. Now, the facts of that case were slightly different, but also had some obvious issues to me, because she reports to law enforcement that she ran out of gas and that she needed a ride to get gas. Where did she run out of gas was in her own driveway. So this immobilized car that law enforcement never bothered to go see if it actually was immobilized, but this car was somehow ran out of gas in her own driveway. She now starts walking down the street. No evidence that she called anybody. She starts walking down the street, and then here comes Mr. Gunsby, and he just happens to roll down his window and offer to take her to a gas station. But then eventually, according to her, never took her to the gas station. They stopped at a business location. That business location being 5040 Snapfinger Wood Drive, the Emory healthcare facility that he feels the most comfortable taking advantage of these women. And according to the evidence at the preliminary hearing, there was no weapon. There was no threat of force. There was no force. He never held her down. There were no injuries to her body, but she never attempted to run because they both got out of their cars, according to the preliminary hearing, and as she walks willingly to the back of the car to be sexually assaulted. This lawyer's a sack of shit, but what's sad is that he's doing his job, all right? That's how they always claim these rape cases are about. They always say, oh no, she wanted it. She wanted it. That's all they do. So Chris's lawyer is stating that there was no threat of force because there was no injuries to her body. Bruh, Shannon Smith was only 5'2". She's a small, petite girl. All right? And from what she stated is that Chris Unbiased said, if you make one fucking move, I'm gonna kill you. This is a small girl we're talking about. She was fearing for her life, so she complied, and now his lawyer is trying to shame her for that. That's all they do. I mean, again, I have no discovery, but the allegations that were presented at the preliminary hearing have obvious issues. So again, he doesn't have the discovery and all of the evidence regarding the 2015 case. He's literally pulling this out of his ass, and he's even admitting it right here. I mean, again, I have no discovery, but the allegations that were presented at the preliminary hearing have obvious issues, and Mr. Gunsby has been in custody for 169 days. No weapon was purported to be used in either one of these incidents. As I suggested, that he is entitled to a bond as a matter of law under 2 warrants because it's been longer than 90 days. That's how he got out. That's how he got out. So he keeps on running around saying, oh, if I was guilty, why would they let me out? If all of this stuff is against me, why would they let me out for these rape charges?
And once I was able to get into my laptop, trusty old laptop right here. Once I was able to get into my laptop, I was able to uncover and put pieces together that wasn't quite right. You know what I'm saying? That definitely wasn't right. And I was able to prove a lot of stuff not being right. A lot of stuff that they said were lies, and people that they tried to put on me was like becoming like favorable for me. Like I was able to use it back on them. Like, no, like y'all really try to put this person on me without any proof. All of these different things. And this is one thing that you got to realize. As horrible as things sounded in the very beginning, as horrible as they sound, oh, you linked to this person and that person and this person, and you know, you got a robbery, you got a kidnapping, and you got a false imprisonment charge, and you got a, what else did I have? I had a aggravated assault charge, and you got a fake money charge. All of these things, think about all of that. Just think about it for a minute. How did I get here today? How did I get here today? How did I get here to where they're not pursuing my case anymore? I'm not going back to court. I'm not having a trial.
Well, clown, we found that you do have trial. You do have an upcoming court date. So that was a lie. You keep lying to the battle rap community, and then you finally admitted to having a court date after we actually pulled it up on you. So now he's stating, oh, well, that court date is just to handle everything that was supposed to be handled because the courts were closed because of COVID. What are you talking about, fam? But you stated you had no upcoming court dates. We see it right here, March 24th. All right. And now he's also saying, oh, if my charges were so egregious, why did they let me out? Because they let out people all of the time because you as a United States citizen have the right to bond. OK, there have been people in jail for murder charges, and they're still given a bond.
A man who was out on bond for murder is back behind bars tonight, arrested in another murder case. Prosecutors say 20-year-old Travion Tatum shot and killed a man after he was arrested for murder and aggravated assault.
KPRC2's Sophia Ojeda spoke to one of the victim's mother, who says the justice system is broken and that suspect should have stayed behind bars. Sophia?
Daniela and Christine, the mother of Andreas Patterson, says that she repeatedly asked the judge for no bail and the bond to be revoked in the suspect's case. She says if the judge had just listened, then another family would not be dealing with this pain. Crystal Johnson wiped away tears when she talked about her 19-year-old son, Andreas Patterson.
It's very emotional every day. It's like a roller coaster up and down. I have good days, I have bad days, I have horrible days.
She says her son was so loving and kind. He loved basketball and fishing, and his friends adored him. But Andreas was shot and killed in 2019. 20-year-old Travion Tatum is charged with his murder. Johnson says Tatum tried to rob her son and ended up shooting him several times in the back.
This is actually the first year that we celebrated Christmas since then, and I still really didn't celebrate it.
Tatum was arrested and posted $50,000 bond. 6 months later, he was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon for pointing a rifle at 2 women. The DA asked for no bail, but a judge granted bond. Even with several bond violations, Tatum later posted bond again.
I've asked, every time we go to court, I've asked for to revoke his bond.
Tatum was just arrested for another murder charge. Prosecutors say he shot and killed John Kelly back on February 8th. According to court records, more than 40 shots were fired on the 800 block of Dunson Glen, killing Kelly.
Motherfucker, there's been people that have gotten out for murder charges. Because as a United States citizen, you have the right to get a bond. All right? You have the right to get a bond. It's been over 90 days. They can't find this girl, Shannon. All right? Because, again, That case happened in 2015, 2 years prior to when this incident with Kiara and Karen Hill went down. So they have to give you bond. They have to give you bond. Okay. Now his lawyer continues. Your Honor, I'm going to object to any mention of this second or this now third supposed incident. He's talking about Karen Hill. And to be clear as to why, this allegation supposedly occurred the day after the June 17th sexual assault, and the state has not even so much as sworn out a warrant for that arrest. So there is no way that they believe that that is true. They're just trying to use it to fit their narrative and have Mr. Gunsby denied bond. If they believe it's true, they would either charge that case or it's unconscionable that they haven't charged the case. That there's a young lady that has been raped, that they believe that after all this time, they have not found time to charge him. So I would strongly suggest that the court not take anything regarding that case into account for the purpose of bond. Now, again, he's referring to Karen Hill. Chris Unbias was unable to actually have sex with Karen Hill because, as she says, she jumped out of the vehicle, all right, before any of that happened, all right? So since they don't have DNA evidence, but they have all of these other cases that link you to that, they're not charging you with Karen Hill because they already have enough, and they're going to use Karen Hill as a witness against you. Against you, clown. What are you talking about? This dude really wants you to believe that Karen Hill, a victim of somebody who attempted to rape her in a vehicle, is gonna come be a star witness for another alleged rapist. Like, does that even make any fucking sense? That a woman who's dealing with this trauma is then gonna go out of their way to come into the defense of another rapist who she does not know, to try to help him get off on raping these other two girls? Does that even make any fucking sense? No, it doesn't, bro. No, it doesn't. Just like nothing else makes sense in this dude's story, bro. But it is what it is. It is Adept, HNIC, battle rap and investing. I'ma holla at y'all. Peace.
I can learn from you. I can learn from that channel. I can learn from the mind of Adept HNIC.